Hi everyone, Richard DeBanks from Athletic Alliance, the company that makes you better, faster, stronger, and smarter. And today, I am broadcasting from a car, as you can see, from the Athletic Alliance Mobile. And I wanted to talk to you about choosing a trainer. Now, this is a subject that comes up a lot in people I talk to. Sort of as a secondary subject. Usually, there'd be questions on supplements and when to take them, and then it sort of almost always dovetails into training. And quite often, I get asked for recommendations on training and trainers who are suitable trainers, whether just in online or sort of like in real life as well. And it's an important subject, actually, because a trainer can make a big difference. If you pick the wrong trainer, you could end up with lifelong injuries. You could end up, I've seen a lot of people that used a trainer to get into shape for a contest, for example, and they did, but a month or two after the competition, and this is typically for figure or bodybuilding, they look way worse than they actually did before they started. Massive weight gain, bloat, stuff like that. So they had unsustainable results. So I want to go through a few of the things that will sort of guide you into choosing the right trainer. So one of the things you want to look for is when you're meeting a trainer, the first thing they should do is an assessment. And a trainer is going to assess the way you move, the way you perform exercises, because they're going to be able to see whether technique, they'll quickly be able to prioritize what needs work. Maybe maybe your technique is great and you need a lot of conditioning. And so then the programming will start that way. Maybe you have a lot of natural strength, but you have horrible technique. And so you're going to have to take a different approach, and you're going to have to kind of go back to basics and rebuild your technique. A good trainer should be able to analyze, like if for powerlifting, for example, they should be able to analyze your lift, and if you fail on a lift or you struggle on a lift, they'll be able to analyze where the weak point is in that chain and how you can go about, improving that or building that. So that's number one. A good trainer will want to do an assessment. Number two, a good trainer will encompass your whole lifestyle. You can go to really any gym in the world and, start training, and somebody will walk you through things. But a good trainer is going to understand that everything works together. For example, if you work graveyard shifts, maybe sleep is an issue for you, and your training has to kind of reflect that. Maybe the intensity and the volume is going to be limited because you just don't have the time to recover. Maybe you, if you have a horrible diet, that should become apparent. But dieting and training go together like this. If you eat horribly, your results from training are going to be horrible. And if you eat great and never train, then you're probably not going to get a whole lot there either, right? So, the diet has to support the training, and a good trainer will take an interest in your diet and will make adjustments and recommendations as they see fit. And this, a nutritionist is a separate thing. Most trainers aren't going to lay out a whole diet plan for you. Some might, but they need to be aware of it, and they need to be there to offer some suggestions. So that's another thing, taking a look at your whole life and how everything kind of works together. A third thing you want to look for in a good trainer they should sit you down and they should work on realistic goals and how you're going to achieve them. Now, I like to differentiate between goals and dreams. Like, let's say I have I can bench 405, right? Maybe it's my dream to one day bench 600. That's not a goal, that's a dream. My goal should be to hit 420 or 425, right? And, it's the same thing in any other physical aspect, especially, or in life in general, whether it's business, whatever you're in. Goals should be something that you're attainable and you have a methodology for getting there. Like if somebody, let's say your goal is, okay, I want to be, let's say you play football and your goal is, I want to weigh the same as I currently weigh, but I want to be faster and stronger, right? So, you have an assessment, as I said, and there needs to be, you can't just pull a number out of your ass and say, hey, I want to run the 40 in 4.2, right? If you're currently running it in 5. What you can do is you can put together something that says, okay, this is what I'm going to do to get from 5, or your trainer can do this, is put together a plan that will get you from 5 seconds to 4.85, for example, right? And how are you going to get there? Okay, well, we're going to increase, we're going to work on explosive movements, we're going to lose about 10 pounds of body weight and try to put on 10 pounds of lean muscle. There has to be a methodology and a path to achieving that goal, and it has to be realistic. And then when you're at 5.85, then you can realistically look, hey, is there more room? Can I improve this up to 4.7 or 4.75, something like that, right? So that's it. Setting realistic, attainable goals and a methodology to show you how you're going to get there. Like if I'm seeing a trainer and whatever, I want to figure out, okay, where can I expect to be in, say, 60 or 90 days? This is where I can expect to be. How am I going to get there, right? And that makes it a lot simple, and it makes it much more attainable. So we have setting goals, we have encompassing the full lifestyle, we have analysis and observation of your technique and where to start from. Okay, those are the basic things. You get those things in, and you know that you've got somebody, you've got a decent trainer. Okay, now we take it to another level, and a fourth thing you want to see is results that they've gotten from other people. And this can be misleading because, if you're a trainer, you could get a phenom that lands in your lap, and then you could inadvertently take credit for what is a genetically gifted athlete. And the same goes in the other direction. You could have made tremendous progress on somebody just to get them to, average, right? But the real value in a trainer that's worked with a lot of people is that every body is different. And Louis Simmons, the Westside Barbell, the owner of Westside Barbell, who in his own right is a great trainer, he's often said, everything works, just not forever, right? And that's how it is with people too. So, that's how it is right across the board. Everything will work in the short term, but you want to see somebody that can consistently get results, create improvement through a wide variety of athletes or of people. Because like I said, everybody is different. And, with women especially, you get a lot of confounding stuff, right? You get unexpected weight gain when there shouldn't be any, and you get stuff like that, right? So the more athletes they've worked with, the better. And I have found that people who own gyms almost invariably tend to be the best trainers, because there's a lot of trainers obviously that don't own gyms. Most of them. But those that own gyms, they get a wide variety of people coming in. They see a lot of different stuff, and through my experience, the best trainers tend to be gym owners. So there's that. Another thing I would recommend is starting off with some basics from some good online trainers, and I can rattle off a few that I think are really good. This tends to be more in strength for sports and for powerlifting, but Louis Simmons, like I mentioned, Charles Poliquin, the Strength Sensei, is another one. Pavel Tsatsouline is a great one. Who else? DeFranco, he's another really good one. So I mean, there's 4 right there. And if you're into a specific sport, Mark Bell is a good one. In Canada, Connor Lutz is a really good one, and I've used a lot of tips from these guys myself. And I will say this: at the end of the day, the most important trainer is going to be you. You have to be the best trainer, and that's how you'll get the best results, because no one's gonna understand your body better than you, right, over the long term. Nobody's going to know as well as you do when you need rest. Nobody's going to know what program you like the best. And ultimately, if you're one of those people that just shuts off your brain and just, hey, you say do it, this is what I'll do, I think you do yourself a disservice if you take that approach. And I know there's a lot of distractions, and you know what, if you're at the very highest level of your sport, and there's just so much shit going on, maybe that's the approach you want to take. But for 99% of the population, I think you're always best to be your own trainer and to understand the whys, the wherefores of what you're doing yourself, because that knowledge will just compound on itself, and you'll continue to learn throughout your whole life. And finally, I would say, if you are looking for a personal trainer, make sure you're ready to hold up your end. That other than payment, the best thing that you can give to a trainer is commitment. Now, I wouldn't call myself a good trainer, but I have trained, I've trained quite a few people over the years, in powerlifting. And one thing here's the worst thing you can get from the perspective of training somebody is when you find your motivation exceeds the person's, and I've had that many times where I'm more motivated for their success than they are. And if you're training somebody, that's extremely frustrating. So if you're the person that's going to a trainer, you do your part, come to them with commitment. Come to them and just say to yourself, you know what, and be upfront about it as well. If you have problems with commitment, say, listen, I'm not the most committed person. I just want some moderate improvements. Just be upfront and say that, right? But I would recommend taking an approach that, you know what, I'm going to do absolutely everything in my power, at least for 90 days. Whether I can keep up the motivation after that, I don't know. I'm not going to promise it, but I'm going to do everything in my power to be completely motivated for 90 days. And I think that's plenty of time for a trainer to get some real results with you. Even if you're already an intermediate level athlete or lifter or whatever, you'll still get results in 90 days if you bring the commitment and you're working with a good experienced trainer. So there you go. There's a quick wrap up on how to choose the trainer that is right for you. Thanks.